and good morning. I'm Carol here from Sunset Learning Institute. I hope you all enjoy our session today. I'm here with Jim. We'll have our session for Comply to Connect training. I hope you all are welcome. I will be here posting and helping in the chat. Please stay with us until the end of the session. We will have some promotions and more information to give you. Thank you. All yours, Jim.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you for attending. My name is James Risler. I work for Cisco Learning. I'm a subject matter expert in security, but I work in the product management group, and I'm one of the product managers behind Comply to Connect. So I'm here to talk about the Cisco Comply to Connect training, kind of a little bit of background about where it came from, why we built it, and what the future holds for this. All of you on this call are key in helping us develop the future of this training. So let's go ahead and jump in. You can find me, by the way, on LinkedIn if you have any questions under James Risler, and send me a note. I'd love to connect with you and hear your feedback. And then we can talk about other options in the Comply to Connect training. So let's get into it. So here is the layout of the Comply to Connect training that we've started building about a year ago. There's a team at Cisco that has been partnering with the federal government, the DoD, in trying to figure out how the DISA Comply to Connect standard lays out. That standard so far, from what I've been told, is not completed 100% yet. So there's still a lot of things left to be learned. So far, what we've done is we've built an e-learning, which is hosted on our Cisco U platform. So anybody who has Cisco U access should be able to get access to it at the paid level. And then we're getting ready to release at the end of October the instructor-led version of this course. So let's talk about what this course entails and why we broke it down into the different tracks. So track one is C2C fundamentals and 802.1x. So in essence, this course is a combination of two products that the Cisco Learning team had, which is the Identity Services Engine, ICE, course and the 802.1x course. What we did was as I said earlier, we worked with the Cisco team that was doing the consulting and design around the C2C. And when you hear C2C or Comply to Connect, it's the DoD's version of Zero Trust. So they worked with that team to basically figure out how the Cisco solutions would come together, excuse me, in creating a Comply to Connect environment or equivalent required environment. So track one, we worked on what is C2C Foundation. We basically took the DISA document and outlined what it is in C2C to set the stage. Then we talk about identity-based network services, which is 802.1x foundation. So how it operates at layer 2 and layer 3. Then we jump into specifics of 802.1x, the EAP protocol, which is being used in the C2C deployment. Then we do a lab on device configuration, and then we talk about access for non-supplicant devices like printers and other devices on the networks that do not support an 802.1x supplicant. So track two, we talk about just lightly ICE architecture. So personas, the different types of ICE servers, what their roles are. And then we do a simple ICE deployment showing how it's set up. Track three, we talk about ICE policy enforcement. Now here's where we start to get into the real meat of how you do C2C. First off, you have to develop a policy inside of identity services engine. So when a machine connects to the network, how does ICE interrogate the machine? How does ICE interrogate the user? It all comes down to the policy. The After we go through the ICE policy components, we lay out PKI, which is going to be used, advanced supplicants, third-party supplicants that are supported by ICE, and then also how to troubleshoot an ICE policy. And then we do a little bit on TrustSec. We are pulling some of the TrustSec out because we really feel like that's more an advanced concept that will come later in the deployment of C2C. So it looks like there's going to be multiple phases of deploying C2C. And as those phases develop, we're going to work on making sure that the training focuses on those phases. Track 4, we talk about the ICE profiler. This is where you profile the machine coming in the network. Like, is it a Windows machine? Does it have patches? What's the antivirus on the machine? And then what's the best practices for profiling? How to set it up, how to capture information on devices, whether it's wired or wireless. Finally, track 5, we jump in, we look at ICE compliance services, posture assessment and compliance. This is specifically very heavy C2C design section and will be flushed out more later on. Again, we have more labs in there. So you see we have about 14, 15 labs. And then finally, track 6 is where this section is going to get a lot more work later on as we go through and learn more about the various ICE C2C deployments. We have TACAX Plus for managing devices, and then finally C2C use cases. Now you see down in the bottom right-hand corner, I have a box that says Enhanced C2C Content. That means those boxes that have the bold line around them, we have added in specific C2C information. So we took the ICE course and then we basically took out the stuff that was non-necessary for C2C, and then we enhanced the stuff that was really required for the C2C deployment and then made specific stuff for C2C. All right, I'm going to move on. So as you can see here, I highlighted some of the boxes here that are more C2C specific that we're going to enhance later on with the bigger box. That's what I meant to show you. All right, course knowledge and outline. So C2C foundational knowledge is box 1. We talk about MAB, that's Mac authentication bypass. This is for devices like printers. That's the only thing I can think of right now. Or devices on the network that can't support 802.1x. And then how you set up wired and wireless. Foundational knowledge of ICE architecture deployments. We then jump into ICE policy enforcement. This is where PKI and you start learning about TrustSec. TrustSec is used a lot in data centers. Understanding how ICE profiler works for identity endpoints. So configuring authorization policies. Then we look at endpoint compliance, posture assessments, ICE monitoring. Now the ICE monitoring section, we're going to be doing a lot of work on reporting. We know that reporting is a critical component with the DISA standard, and there's a lot left to be flushed out there. Finally, we finish with the use cases. All right, let's look at the labs in the course. Configuring devices for 802.1x. As you can see here, we got a bunch of labs in here. A couple of labs, like lab that says configuring Windows native 802.1x supplicant with TEEP, that is C2C specific. Then you see over on the right-hand list, you see configuring Cisco CX ICE reporting tools to generate the required C2C reports. Again, that is C2C specific. So we've developed some labs that are C2C specific, and there will probably be more coming, again, as we learn more about how the various branches are deploying C2C. All right, let's do the e-learning because this is what we have out today. Like I said, the ILT will be released at the end of October. So please reach out to your partner to talk about maybe scheduling some ILT courses. Um, and also, I want to highly recommend do not go get the SICE course thinking that will help with C2C. That course has a lot of information in it that is not required for C2C, and you'll be learning about technology components that you don't need. So, in the ELT course, we have labs, videos, pre assessments, post assessments, and graphics and text. We also have, and I'll show you an example of a lab coming up here in a minute. We also have the ability that if you go through the entire course, you can get a completion certificate at the end. So turn that in to your boss. We are tracking the individuals that complete the course and producing reports on that so that the DoD knows who has gone through and completed the Comply to Connect course. Means they've done all the pre-assessments, post-assessments, looked at all the videos, completed the labs. All right, the lab environment. The labs are hosted in our data center in Dallas, Texas. So when you click on initialize a lab, you're basically reaching back to the lab environment and spawning up the equipment necessary, the switches, the virtual machines, the ICE images, the virtual clients. And here we look at this is a lab on TEEP. So in this activity, we'll configure 802.x supplicant to work with TEEP and Cisco ICE. You'll install the certificates. Certificates are going to be a key component to the C2C deployment. That's why we have a whole section on PKI. And then we also talk about the authorization policy. So you have to go in and set up the authentication authorization policy to support that certificate.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.